All right, a lot of weighing in on Steve Sarkisian. Says, guys, Arch Manning overthrows and 2 interceptions. Actually, he had 3 interceptions. But don't come at me that he blamed. This is what Texans fans do to CJ Stroud. You see what happens when the Texans play with protection against the Ravens and there's no pass rush? CJ Stroud has a hell of a game. And he goes back to looking like CJ Stroud as a rookie.
Yep.
If you're getting no quarterback in the country was pressured more often and more times last week than Arch Manning. He was under pressure on 60% of his dropbacks. And as Steve Sarkisian said, we had plans to play a vertical game. We wanted to get down the field, and we had open receivers. We just couldn't give the guy time to throw the ball down the field. And yes, he missed some throws. But again, this is like fans not seeing the forest through the trees and blaming Quinn Ewers for games at times last year. Did Quinn play bad games last year? Absolutely. But this was the problem. This is why when your offense is like Sark's is right now, this quarterback-centric, if your quarterback has a bad game, you lose. The Cowboys can relate to this. If Dak Prescott doesn't play a great game,
they need him to be the MVP.
They're going to lose.
Win. Yeah, if they want to make the playoffs,
their
he's got to be the
defense
MVP.
is awful.
Yeah,
their defense is awful.
Legit MVP
at Texas right now. If you play a really good team that's like athletes, your quarterback has to play out of his mind because he's going to have no running game. He's got to rush for 75. He's got to throw for 300. He's going to get sacked a bunch. And listen to Sark talking about this yesterday. What did he learn about Arch Manning? Because look, we would all agree that Arch had a bad day against Ohio State. Had a really bad day. But again, when the offense is built around the quarterback performing and he has a bad day, you're going to score 7 points and lose. Because you can't run the football. You can't move the line of scrimmage. You can't score in the red zone because of that. You don't convert short yardage plays because you can't push the line of scrimmage. And your quarterback has to be a hero. And he's going to have bad days. Arch had a bad day against Ohio State, and Matt Patricia got the better of him. But Arch contributed 330 of the 360 yards on Saturday. You only gained 30 yards outside of what the quarterback did. You can't win that way. And listen to Sark when asked what he learned about his starting quarterback on Saturday.
Able to make some plays and all the microscopic view of him and how is he handling all that?
I found out he's a tough dude. He fought his ass off Saturday, and those were not ideal conditions for a quarterback to perform under. Is there a couple throws I'm sure he'd love to have back? Of course. But he stood in there and he showed a lot of contact courage, taking hits, delivering the ball. There were some really impressive throws in there, and he battled until the very end. And so I think he learned a lot about himself as much as we learned about him. You know, that this guy's got a lot of courage. He's got a lot of toughness. I think he gained a lot of respect from his teammates Saturday, which is a great thing. Does he need to play a little better? Sure. Do we need to play better around him? No question. You know, and so that's the goal for us on that front.
Okay. And it's fair to say through 6 weeks of football, your eyes aren't lying to you. The offense is broken. And, again, there are reasons for it because of running back injuries again. But the core piece, lead to the brokenness is the offensive line is just not very good. And if it doesn't get better, Houston Texans fans can relate. If it doesn't improve, the quarterback can't bail you out from that.
No.
Like Quinn Ewers was able to at times last year because he made 30-some starts. He was a veteran quarterback. He had elite weapons around him like Matthew Golden and Isaiah Bond for a time, and guys. Gunnar Helm was third-round pick into the NFL. This is a quarterback who doesn't really have that right now.
Yeah.
I go back 3 years ago when they had Bijan Robinson, and my buddy Rod Babers coined the phrase "put some Bijan on it." Right? When in doubt, give it to Bijan.
Right.
And he'll make something good happen.
He's one of the best in the NFL currently.
And then there was a time for Sark where, okay, if in all else fails, give it to Xavier Worthy.
Right.
And he'll make a play.
That's why he was also a first-round pick.
First-round pick.
Right.
They don't have that guy right now.
They do not.
They do not have that player.
Ryan Wingo has not emerged into that yet, and you got to kind of blame Sark to an extent for first off.
But even with the 4 missing starters on the offensive line, like as good as Jake Majors was and Hayden Connor and some of these guys, they weren't able to generate rushing yards against elite defensive fronts. So this is now 5 years running, and the offensive line is what it is. And that's actually worse with the recruiting class of the big humans and the Pancake Factory and all the investment they've made on it. And so it's not an unfair question to Sark, as good a job as he's done to this point of restoring Texas back to where it wants to be among college football's elite. What I'm looking at is if you don't get this offensive line, I don't know if this is a fixable problem right now. It's a bigger picture problem. I'm just pointing out what Brett Venables is building at Oklahoma. And what if Brett Venables gets the offense right? What if Brent Arbuckle is the guy? And they have John Mateer this year, and they can recruit another quarterback that wants to play in that exact same system. So now you have an offense that goes with the elite defense and personnel that Brett Venables has compiled, well, now you got a real problem. And as I say, Mike Elko's team is undefeated in the top 10, and they are building something pretty good down there. They can run the ball like crazy. They've got a good offensive line with Le'Veon Moss. They're developing this young Marcel Reed, and their defense is getting better.
They can win in different ways.
Yeah. I'm not saying like panic button time. I'm just suggesting if you don't get this offensive line fixed, poor Arch Manning's not going to survive the season.
No, he's not.
You people who are calling for Matthew Caldwell are going to get your wish soon enough if he gets hit on every play like he is right now.
Yeah, if that happens, what we saw in Gainesville, he will be injured.
Yeah,
I mean, he will.
There's going to be one of those that puts him out of the game. And ask Quinn Ewers, who had injuries every year, and some of those were not non-contact injuries. We understand that. I'm just saying, and listen to Sark though. Can they fix this issue? Is it fixable in a week? If it's been that inconsistent and spotty all year, and it looked like a wreck on Saturday, and you don't really know who your left guard is right now, I don't think they do. I think the fact that Nick Brooks, a true freshman, was thrown in there in the middle of the game on the road at Gainesville, and it's the first time he's ever played guard in a game. Think about desperation, because Connor Stroh is getting whipped, and you say, well, go with Nick Brooks. We've played him there in practice a few times. He's never played in a game. And now his first start or its first play at that position is going to be on the road in Gainesville in the swamp against a pretty athletic Florida front. Well, that's kind of unfair to ask that young guy to do that. But at the same time, this is where they are at that position. So I know Sark's going to say we can fix it, but I don't know. I really don't know if they can fix this run game. Let's hear Sark talking about this offensive line. It's the question everybody's asking. But I like I said yesterday, it's not for me. People are saying, well, prisoner of the moment, it's just one game, bad game in Florida. No, this has been an ongoing problem for them. This is not new if you're paying attention. The inability to run the football and generate, this is why they're bad on third downs under Sark. This is why they're bad in the red zone, is they can't push people that are like athletes right now. And the question is, I'm not telling you I know why that is, but I just know it needs to be solved. Here's Sark with the offensive line conversation.
You got to focus on all of it, whether it's a player who hasn't played too much, whether it's the scheme of what we're calling, whether it's about the players' preparation and getting themselves prepared to play. Maybe it's a veteran player that's trying to do too much rather than just doing his job. And so there's a variety of things that can play a part into that. But I think first and foremost for us, it's executing on first and second down, regardless of what we're calling, whether it's a run game, pass game, RPO, whatever that looks like, because we've got to put ourselves in more manageable third downs. And it doesn't matter what league you're in, from little league to the NFL. When you play 3rd and 9+ football, the percentages over time tell you your odds of converting a first down go down dramatically. And so we've got to do a better job of putting ourselves in manageable third down situations. And so everybody plays a part in that. Myself, our coaches, the play calling, to our execution on first and second down, to minimizing, eliminating some of the self-inflicted wounds and penalties. So all of that adds up to we've got to get ourselves into more 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 6 type third downs, and they're just the percentages go up that you're going to convert.
Well, that's where Florida was in the entire first half and most of the game on Saturday. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, which a wide open playbook, as Sark is saying, and Texas was 3rd and 9, and that's why I won't go blaming Arch Manning for not being perfect when no quarterback would be good under that scenario, and he's still a young quarterback who's learning. And I'd also say this, and I'll give you this number again. This is why I think a lot of people are looking at the Vegas line where Texas is still favored to beat Oklahoma, and I'm not going to wager on it. I'm going to go watch it because I love this game, and I've been about 20 in a row. But right now, Texas on third down conversions in the country is 116th. Right now, Oklahoma on third down defense is number 1.
Yeah.
They allow teams to convert third down, no matter the number, a pretty staggering 17% of the time. So 2 of 10. Because as Sark just said, they typically have you in 3rd and long because they win first down, they win second down, and then they come after you. Ask Jackson Arnold about a 10-sack day in Norman a couple of weeks ago for the Auburn Tigers. They're number 1 in third down defense. Texas is 116th in converting third downs because, as Sark just said accurately, we're in 3rd and long all the time. Well, I think fans are getting to the point, and observers of, okay, Sark, you're telling us what we're watching. We see it.
Yeah.
Why is it? And what are you going to do to fix it? And it's not a new thing. This Florida game was not an outlier of what this program has been regardless of the level of success, and it has been highly successful, there's a core issue that is preventing Texas from taking that next step. And right now it's physicality on the offensive line. So I don't pretend to have the answer. Sark has identified the problem. Well, if it doesn't show dramatic improvement on Saturday, they won't beat Oklahoma.
No, they won't. Because that's the same issues that they're dealing with, and they're probably playing against the best defense, if not one of the best defenses.
Stats tell you. And
they
haven't played a bunch
country.
of great offenses. Auburn's not a great offense. Auburn has the worst offense in the conference.
No.
Michigan's not a great offense.
Not
Kent
great.
State's not a good football team. But their numbers are their numbers. And Texas has only played 2 good teams, and they weren't great on third down and against the bad teams.
And this team was good last year. I know it's some of the different personnel, but that's the identity that Venables has brought in. Like you said, you hire a defensive coordinator, defensive-minded coach, and then you bring in a guy like Arbuckle, you bring in a quarterback like John Mateer, and it's working for the time being, and maybe that'll develop. But he has an identity. You're right. It's defensive-minded football and being strong on that side, and then bringing in pieces that have helped on the offense. Is Sark a little too hyper-focused on the whole team and not getting a guy that he can look in the mirror and say, hey, help with the offense because I got a lot to handle here? He has every position group, it feels like, every position.
Well, that's kind of the
as a coach.
That's the contradiction of Sark. I mean, it's
right.
It's everything. Every other element of the program is purring at a high level. The recruiting, the investment, the fan base buy-in, the coaching staff continuity, the defense. They think they're better on special teams. We'll see. But the one consistency is that the offense has never been elite.
Yeah, not 1 year has it been elite.
It's been good.
And you've had elite players on it.
Correct. And so that's
I still
what
think
I'm
this team does have that.
And that's what it's going to take the next step. Because when Nick Saban and Kirby Smart are building their programs into, and Brian Day now at Ohio State, into elite programs, they're all phases. They're elite at everything. And right now, Texas just is not on the offensive side of the ball. And neither is Oklahoma. I'm not saying that. But at least that defense that Brett Venables has built is. And that's credit to Venables.